Okay, so another thing that you can make with your extra milk from your dairy herd share, if you're not using all the fluid milk on your cereal, on your coffee, or drinking it with your breakfast, you can always make what we call a Bovre, which is just a soft spreadable cheese. You can add herbs to it, taco seasoning, different things, and then be able to spread it on crackers or eat it on lots of other different things. So the first step you're going to do is I'm taking about almost a gallon of milk, and I've got to raise the temperature of this up to about 86 degrees. At 86 degrees, we're going to add the culture and add some rennet to it. So we'll just wait for it to get up to 86 degrees. Okay, for our Bovre cheese, we are going to use a mesophilic culture, and where it says choose it MM101, I know that this culture specifically is a mesophilic. And you can get cultures at lots of different places. A lot of times they'll tell you what that culture is specifically good for. For a Bovre, you're going to look for a culture that's good for making a Chavre. Chavre is just the same exact thing, but using goat's milk. And I don't have any goat's milk. So here we are with the cow's milk and making it into a soft cheese. So we're going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of culture, and we're going to use two drops of animal rennet. There's lots of different options on your rennet. This one isn't animal rennet, and I got this from a New England cheese making supply company. And you're going to put 2 drops into about a 1/4 cup of water. You always want to dilute it. You never put it directly into the milk straight. You always have to dilute it down first. This is the product that actually makes your cheese curds set and give them strength. It coagulates the milk. So I'll go ahead and put 2 drops into that water, and I'll measure out my culture, and we'll go from there. So I sprinkled the culture on the top, and I let it sit for about 5 minutes so it would rehydrate. Now we're going to stir it back into the milk, and we want to make sure we bring the milk up from the bottom to the top by kind of stirring it in an upward motion, just stirring it from the bottom to the top. Okay, so we'll give this a good, make sure we have it really well mixed in there. Okay, set that down for a second. And now we're going to pour a rennet down in there, and that's 2 drops of rennet mixed in with about a 1/4 of a teaspoon, or yeah, a 1/4 of a cup of water. And we're just going to give this a brief stir. We're not going to stir it a whole lot because the curds will start to form sometimes. You don't want to disturb that. So now you'll start seeing, sometimes you'll see that rennet work real quick and see little flakes of milk particles and stuff, but I don't see a whole lot of that this time. So you just give it a good stir in there so that rennet is evenly distributed through the whole thing. So now that milk is just going to sit there at least 12 hours, up to 24 hours, and at about 75 degrees. So I have it in a cooler of warm water, and I'll just close up the lid and let it sit there overnight, and I'll check it in the morning and see if the curds have formed. That'll be about 12 hours. You want a good solid mass of cheese curds in there is what we're looking for. So we're gonna anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, and it can sit there until you're ready to be able to deal with it. So that's the nice thing about making the Chavre or the Bovre. It is extremely forgiving, and I used a whole milk for this, so I did not take the cream off of it. Actually, this group, I did take some of the cream off because I was planning on making butter. So I took some of the cream off because the cream just sits at the top of the cheese spread, and that's not really, I don't really like that. Very similar to the yogurt. As an end product, the cream does not get mixed in. So I'd rather use the cream to make butter. Okay, so the Bovre has been sitting overnight, and you can see the whey is all on the top. The cheese curds are all on the bottom. If by chance you go to look at it and there's lots of bubbles in here and it's overflowing and it's coming up over the top and whatnot, then that means that your milk had some dirt in it and was contaminated, and you just grew a bacteria you don't want. So if you have that, just throw it out. But you can see, let's see if I can show this. When I cut this, you can see the curd down there. It's real thick and it pulls away. So I think that sat in there for almost 12 hours. And you can see it's got a good solid curd to it. So I have a strainer with a piece of cheesecloth in it, and we're going to go ahead and pour that in there and start draining it. So I poured some of the whey off, and I'm going to cut the curd so that it will come out of the jar and into my cheesecloth. And I just did a hatch pattern. I did a little bit at an angle. And so we'll get most of it out this time around. Might give it a minute. By cutting it up, it'll start releasing more of the whey. So a little bit of it is stuck in the bottom. So I'm just going to get a spatula and finish digging that out. And then that's just going to sit in the cheesecloth for probably till probably this evening. And as some of the whey comes out, I'll probably pick it up and hang it in a pot. I'll tie up the cheesecloth and hang it and just let it keep on dripping. Now, today I went ahead and put the whey down the drain, but that is something you can definitely save and use that whey as a protein, something to add to fruit smoothies. You can use it in making potatoes, whatever you want to use. So that whey is an excellent protein additive for any ingredient. So I drained a majority of the whey, the loose whey off, and I've got it hanging in a pot. You can use a dowel rod. I just used a long-handled utensil in a big deep pot. And there's my cheesecloth, and I just tied it up. I don't have it sitting on the bottom so that the pressure of the cheese will, it'll just keep on draining throughout the day. And sometimes I'll twist this up a little bit more. And if I have a way of holding it with a twist in it as I go throughout the day, I'll maybe put a clothespin or something on there to make it stay tight. And the goal is to get all that, a lot of that whey out of there so that it's just a much drier cheese. Okay, so this has been sitting all day, about 12 hours or so, and you can see it's pretty solid. Most of the whey has come out. You could tighten it up more if you wanted to squeeze out some more, but I feel like it's pretty good. So we'll go ahead and transfer this to a bowl and season it up, add some salt, and get ready to eat it with some crackers. Okay, so here it is, all out of the cheesecloth. I'm going to just break it up. And you could use an immersion blender or something else to make it creamier. I personally don't need to have it any creamier than this because I'll add seasoning to it and then we'll eat it with crackers. You can mix it and add it to vegetables, whatever you want to eat it with. So tonight we're just using a garlic and herb seasoning. And Add some extra salt. And then we'll just mix that in and get ready to enjoy it.